Well, here we are. I believe this is going to be the very last full home tour, both inside and out, before we move. And I'm also going to be answering some of your questions that you asked from the previous video. But first, a nice cup of cozy coffee to start my day. This home tour is going to be quite long because I'm going to take my time, walk through each and every room. Some of them I'm not even sure if you've seen before, and I'm going to answer questions that I've been asked and point out things that I think I'm going to bring along with us and things that are staying that people have asked me about, such as this chandelier. I was asked where we got it. That chandelier was actually here in the home in another part of this kitchen when it used to be 3 rooms, so I don't know. In the new house, I'm hoping to get another French door oven. I have to see if there's a place, but I do love it. My consignment sconces will be going with me, and I think I have a place for this hutch. Now, if I can only figure out how to pack up this view. I'm also already trying to figure out where I'm going to put our 2 chairs that we love to sit in and look outside. This new house does have a mountain view, so maybe they will go there. But keep in mind, I've only seen the home for maybe 15-20 minutes, so I don't know what's going to go where. I have to wait until September 1st to see the house again and do some measuring. When I staged the house, I went out and I got a bunch of live plants that I'll be able to take with me. But as you will see, for those of you who have followed, I have deleted quite a bit. It's very minimal in decor right now so that new homeowners can come in and try to envision themselves in the home, but I didn't want it to look too sterile and too empty. For my longtime followers, especially on Instagram, do you remember when there was an extra window where that mirror was? There used to be a door here, and behind me, the door I just walked through, was a wall. This room was a sleeping porch when the house was built in the 1800s. I had plans of making this a butler's pantry. I even have some plumbing set up to the vent pipe so somebody else in the future could do that. But once we started thinking about house hunting, I just turned it into a breakfast nook for now. Now in the dining room, everything you see here will be most likely going with me. The chandelier that used to be brass that I painted black to look like wrought iron, the table, the chairs. Now the table I'm hoping is going to fit where I want it to go, but I'm not sure. And when I mentioned I got some plants, all I did was I think I have 6 here in this toolbox, and I just put some tin foil on the bottom so that if I do lightly water them, it will just go onto the tin foil. And for those wondering why I'm taking the chandelier and the lanterns from over the fireplace, the owner of the house we're buying is taking her items with her, so I figured I'll just transfer our stuff over, but I have to have things wired up. I will most likely put some temporary inexpensive fixtures in its place just so that there is some lighting to work by. Well, it took me 2 years to get the refrigerator built in, but that's also going to go with us. But it's a current item so that if anybody wants to put a fridge in, they can. This lighting fixture actually used to be in this house. This was a stairway that went down to the basement at one point. So that was an active fixture. These starlights are also going to go with us. I found these at a resale shop. I would never be able to replace them for the price that I paid, so they're going with us. And our downstairs bathroom, you're going to see an identical bathroom upstairs that's all white. At one point, this was a second fireplace for the home. I don't know when it was removed. I'm guessing the 1940s when a lot of these addition changes were made. Now, here's a bedroom. I have never even changed the paint color from when we moved into the house, but I hung this painting. The pants seem to be a similar color, so just keeping it minimal once again. I put that up and just some simple bedding and some lights, and I called it a day with this room. But once again, this room I hadn't touched other than telling the movers to place things here 3 years ago. Now let's head into the sitting room. One question I have had is somebody asked, will I be doing the same wallpaper and paint in the new house? Now there is a room that I could do so, but the wainscoting is lower and I'm just not sure if it would look the same. So it's a possibility. I'm going to take a sample and see. The TV setup is temporary, so there's wiring there, but I was going to do a built-in at one point, and I just put some things on the shelves just to put them there. That was kind of the last thing that I even just threw together for the photos, and it's not what I would have done for myself, but I did. So this is the sitting room. Everything you see here will be going with me, and now I'm going to go over to the front hall and then show you what I did in the family room. When we first moved in, this was a red Oriental runner, and it was also on the hallway wrapping. It was one of the first projects that I took on, and I also painted the railings black and the stair treads black. And in the family room, this has gone through a couple wall colors just because I kept changing it. But my mantle that has gone with me from home to home, that was from my childhood home, I have been asked if I'm going to take it with me. I'm going to leave it as my gift to the house, but I am going to try to tuck a note somewhere that if it's ever removed, I hope they will just give me a call or an email or write me a letter and see if it's something that I would like back before just sending it off to a salvage yard. This lighting I got at a consignment store, the mirror there was from a consignment store. My sectional was consignment store. And let's see, that large painting was consignment store, pretty much everything in this room. And doing this staging, I was able to get Ben to take off the 64-inch TV that was way too big for that family room, and we just put a small one temporarily. So now I'm going to take you upstairs and we're going to head into Ben's office that I painted just this past spring. One thing I get a lot of questions on are paint colors. I do have a whole page on my website for all the colors of paint that I've used in the house and also materials. And here is that all-white bathroom that I mentioned to you. I think, if I remember, it was like a bright yellow or gold when we bought the house. So I just did everything white neutral just until I got in there to do something, and I never got to it. And now I'm going to show you my stepdaughter's bedroom. I completely stripped it down. I think I mentioned it. My stepdaughter is 22, but she has special needs. So she does like having a lot of her toys around her and things that she just loves to surround herself with. So those right now, she understands they are in storage, and she's very much looking forward to a whole new bedroom. Her new bedroom is going to have a soft green wall that's already there, and I think it's going to work perfect with this painting that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to zoom in to the name of the artist for anybody who might be interested. And now we're going to go into my office once again, stripped down. It is never this clean and tidy, trust me. But I got rid of one of my desks that I usually sit with either with a client or I use it for working on additional space. I just hung up a picture that I had from our previous home. I had that in storage. My two lamps, those are from Ralph Lauren. I was asked where I got those. These two bookcases are going to go with us to the new home, but I'm going to put them, I think, in one of the outbuildings for gardening tools. And I'm going to recover that chair at one point. That is blue velvet under there. It was my mom's, and I covered it one day. Now, this is a doorbell. I couldn't get myself to remove it. I just didn't have the heart. So when this was a two-family, there used to be double doors at the bottom that somebody would ring the bell and somebody could come up. So I left that there, as did the previous homeowner. And this railing I also painted black. It was a weird colored red type of stain, so I didn't like it. Our $99 poster bed that I got at a consignment store. This is what we used as our guest bedroom. It was our master bedroom when we first moved into the house while we were remodeling things. Now let me show you what's up in the attic. Some of you have seen the mess. I have been working up here to organize it a bit, and you're going to see part of it's clean and part of it is still messy. Now, when I first saw the house, this room I envisioned with wallpaper on the walls and the ceiling, 2 twin beds. Once again, never got to it. So one point I was using it to work out in. I had some extra inventory kept there. And then I just, really, it was a non-used room, but it is insulated so well. I can come up here winter, spring, summer, fall. It's always comfortable. Our luggage overflow is stuck in this eave here. And this room behind the door is where I have been putting everything. You want to know where all this stuff went from when I did the staging? Here it is. So a lot of this is Christmas decor, fall decor, other holiday things, off-season clothing, but I will have to go through this before we move because there's some things I'm just not going to want to take with me. I'm going to donate it. We already had our moving company come in to give us an estimate, and Ben and I are so glad they will be the ones doing these stairs up and down, and not us. When we bought the house, this doorway was a wall. This was a living room, but I made it a hallway to the new bedroom. Oh, and here's the antique that I bought. I've got some linens in here, and in the basket I have some toiletry items held. I have no idea where I'm going to use this in the new house, but it is absolutely coming with us. I even have some of my lavender from last year here in the case. And I carved out part of what was the living room, and before that it was a dining room. You're going to see a hutch that I'm now using for clothes. I made it into a walk-in closet. A future owner could easily take down the wall and take out the closets if they wanted this a full room again. I made sure that it was a fairly easy item to take out. And I'm obviously going to get distracted by a sock that's sticking out of one of Ben's bins, so I have to take care of it or else it's going to bug me. There we go. And I'm going to have to go through all of my clothes and all of my shoes. I've got my flats at the bottom here, and I have a feeling I won't be wearing my high heels as much as I do now because I will still walk downtown to a restaurant in my heels, or I love wearing them out, but we'll see. I'm definitely not going to go without my heels for sure. Here's the little shelf area that we had built in. There is a runner up at the top if somebody wanted to put sliding doors on or maybe a hanging curtain, but I left it open just so it was a little more airy and open feeling. So there's a kitchen here that we're going to have to demo, and there's a bathroom here. Now we're going to head into what was once part of the apartment and second floor when it was a two-family completely. This was the kitchen. Straight ahead where the bathtub is where the sink and cabinets were, And where the sink is, there was a refrigerator and a stove and a chimney. And let's see, where the shower was built-ins. It's amazing how much we've changed in such a short amount of time. And what I'm going to point out here is that the lights that I have over the cabinet here, those are from the Ritz-Carlton from when they did a remodeling. And I got the cabinet for $50 at a showroom. It's a Marillac cabinet. And then I just had quartz put on the top and quartz put on the back here of the tub, and I painted the front to look like the quartz. It's the same color. And then over here around the corner, I have another consignment find. I believe it was $25 for this tiered shelf. I'm not sure if I'll have a place for it or not at the new house, but it's super easy to move. So if it doesn't work, I'll be able to donate that or bring it to a friend who needs it. The day I filmed this, I had just cleaned the shower glass with the vinegar Dawn solution that I shared with many of you before, and I had to assure my realtor that it would not smell like that the day we have showings. So I have to make sure I don't clean my glass that day. And then what I like is this little back room that looks over the backyard. And this is where the sunsets are going to be amazing. And our master bedroom, that was a smaller bedroom. We actually had to move a wall to make our bed fit and take out, once again, we took out a chimney, and we get to have this incredible view from our bed. So here's some other questions I'm going to answer. The bedding, that is Nicole Miller. That is something I got at HomeGoods. The artwork over the bed, I lost count with how many of you asked about the artwork. And wait a minute, I've got to check my light here. I noticed that it's dead. Earlier it was flickering, so I have to replace that bulb. But back to the print. This is by Catherine White, and I purchased this at HomeGoods pretty much when we bought the house, and I knew I was going to work my color palette around it. I have seen quite a few similar at HomeGoods, TJ Maxx, Hobby Lobby, and other places. This bedding I got either from the Taj or the Renaissance Hotel through a resale vendor, and then the bee linens from Italy were also another HomeGoods find. Over here I have my prints that I got at a consignment shop, and let's see, even that table cover, I'm sorry, I was drawing a blank, I got at a resale shop. And I'm just going to go outside here and just take a little step out and show you the view I have from the spiral stairway. A little bit later, we're going to walk around the outside of the property, but from here you get to see some of the landscaping that was done for us by a crew we brought in. They edged everything, brought in bark mulch. Before that, they weeded for me. It was amazing to have help like that. Let me tell you, it was the best thing that we did. I was able to focus on the inside of the house. And I forgot to mention I had some spare bee wallpaper. I put it here at the top of the stairs so that it would match the bottom of the stairs. Obviously, Willow is not going to move for me, so I have to gingerly step over her. And now let's head down to the basement. But first I'm just going to show you here, I put another plant, a live plant here under the cloche, and just thought it looked pretty with the green and white. But that is live, so that will go with me to the other house. It's an outdoor annual. I forget what it is. A lot of you will say that you know, but I forget. Willow's bells. Hopefully she'll know to ring them at the new house like she rings them to go outside here at this current house. All right, so now let's go down to the basement. One thing I did here is I painted the walls and the stairs just to brighten it up. I already forget what the stairs were. I think they were red maybe, and this wasn't too long ago. I honestly already forget. I painted the wall, but the paint didn't adhere. It's a basement, but I wanted to make it light and bright and cheery from when I came down here and worked on some projects and when I did laundry. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to show it a little bit afterwards. Here they are. There's holes in the wall still from where there was plumbing that we had moved, and I never got to fixing that. And then over here, the twigs. Those are from the river birch tree that's outside, and I'm going to show you that they actually did some trimming, but I collected those this past spring. Here's some more. Those are going with me to the new house, Sugarwood, to make probably a wreath. This door I only primed, and the bathroom I was going to wallpaper, I just got it primed, so it's going to have to stay that way. We moved out the wood that was here from our fireplaces and cleaned up the basement area. Here underneath the fireplace area, at one point they must have taken out the arch that would have been here. They put in railroad ties, and also that stone in the middle is an old millstone. It's huge. So this is what's holding up our fireplaces upstairs. Now I'm going to show you this quirky little thing here in the floor. There was actually a lock put in the floor, and yes, Ben and I chipped it away, took it out just to see what was there. Nothing. So whoever poured the floor, I'm guessing maybe once again in the 40s, was playing a joke. Our new water heater, and this door, an architect came to our home, and he believes this is actually the same door that used to be the outdoor door before they put the addition on. And let's see, this part of the basement is once again holding a lot of our stuff, including a lot of my Christmas trees and my supplies. So let's see here, I have one tree over here, one in that box, one in a box over here to the left, and then let me turn around. I have another tree there. And then there's some smaller ones upstairs. Some wicker rockers we're going to take with us. I'm going to paint those up. Those were given to me by my in-laws. And let's see here. We're going to leave the pool table. Let's see here. And just been putting a lot of our rugs that I'm rolling up for the showings. Storage, you know, like a lot of us have stuff in our basements. But it is rare to have a walkout bright basement in an antique home like this. So having a basement like this has been wonderful. All of my painting supplies, and I guess that is it. I'm going to take you upstairs now and we will head outside. Over here on the basket, or in the basket, I added a few more live plants just to give some more texture and add a little more color to the faux ferns that I have there. And then I'm just going to scan around here in the yard, once again showing that it's been neatened up with new edging and new bark mulch. I have a gazing globe that I picked up recently for the new house, but I don't have a stand for it. So right now it's just sitting in the yard. And I got some flowers for some of the pots here just for a pop of color. And I did have an umbrella here, but when they did the drone shot for the house, they took that down so that you could see the patio from above. And if I have the link by the time I edit this and go live, I will try to remember to link our house information below. Now let's head out to the side yard, and a question that I had from a couple people was regarding the stone driveway and how we plow it. And actually, we didn't have it plowed. Ben was luckily home during all the storms, and he went out with the snowblower and he was able to have the blade high enough, and he just used that. So we didn't have an issue with snow removal there. These cobblestones and all the other cobblestones used in the yard, the story I was told by the previous owner, he works on a crew that was in Boston, and those stones were taken up from old streets in Boston. They were believed to have been ballasts in ships that came over from Europe, and when they were building the streets of Boston, they used the ballasts there. And I just love thinking how many people and horses walked on these cobblestones in Boston when the city was so very young. If anybody's wondering, why does this garage have no roof? Well, from what I can tell, there used to be a barn here. I do have a photo from 1908 that shows a barn, and I know there was also a fire there, so maybe they just used the bottom half and left it at that. We had plans to put an upstairs balcony around it, but we never got to it. And let's go check out the giant butterbur. I feel so bad for these guys. They're looking a little bit weary, and that's all because of the snow that we had. I believe it was late in mid-May, and they just didn't fare well when we had the snow and then some frost. But they're really hardy through the heat of the summer, but they do love moisture. So when it gets very dry, they wilt to the ground as if you think they're dead. And then we have rain and they perk right back up again. I don't cut them back. I don't do anything with them. I just let them die off to the ground, and then they come back the next year. Now I hear these are invasive in other areas if there's a lot of wetlands. I only have that one little area that's damp, so they love it there. They get it all to themselves. Ben just gave the lawn a fresh cutting, and it looks so nice and clean. A question we were asked is, do we do our own landscaping? And until we just brought in the company to do the edging and the bark mulch, yes, we do everything. So I was loving being outside, but I found that during house hunting and all the other stuff that I was doing, I kind of got caught in the weeds. No pun intended. I couldn't keep up with everything between being on the road, house hunting, working with a client, decorating inside. It was just too much. So we once again waved that white flag that I showed you in the last video and had somebody come in and help. Now my gardens, those poor gardens, I didn't do much in there because I actually let a family of bunnies have it. I just couldn't see myself displacing them at all. So we had pure enjoyment from our kitchen window there, watching bunnies come out in the morning, afternoon, and evening. And I have to say, yes, Willow enjoyed chasing them whenever she had a chance, which we didn't let her have many chances. It was when she would sneak away from us, but they're faster than she is, so don't worry. Case in point, when I rewatched this, there's actually 2 rabbits that hid in the grass or the trees there before Willow even saw them, so she was oblivious to them being right next to her, but she can smell them. Now let's complete this house tour by going up the granite steps, and we're going to go out to the front of the house. I can't help but wonder if there's any boot scrapers on the new home that we're going to be getting, but if there's not, I can deal with it. Now for the gardens out front, once again they were just edged with new bark mulch put in. I did not go in and put all new mums like we had along the walkway last year. Some of them are coming back on their own, but I figured at this stage of the game, if we have a new homeowner coming in for the fall, they might have their own ideas of what they would like to do there. And then I will put mums in up at Sugarwood for our fall holiday there. Now answering another question, the topiary balls on the urns here, I found those at the Christmas tree shop, but I also know that Hobby Lobby had them last year. And I was asked about the urns in a previous video. Those are metal urns that I got at a landscaping store, oh gosh, maybe 15 years ago. They were brown and I painted them black. And we like to change our flags out throughout the year, and I have a few of them linked below. And I'm going to quietly walk by this tree. There is a nest of baby robins, and I'm sorry, but I've always thought that birds had their nests in the spring and were pretty much done. They have been nesting all season long, spring and summer, same with the rabbits. So constant babies in our yard, and we absolutely loved it. When I mentioned sunsets out our back window, let me show you what I mean. Well, friends and kindred spirits, I really hope you enjoyed this before and after home tour. And for those of you who haven't been following along for very long, I hope now you can have a little insight to what our next adventure together will be. We're going to be moving into our new old home called Sugarwood. It was the name that it was given to it before we're moving in, 1790s Cape. And I'm looking forward to spending a little time in there without touching a thing, letting my wheels spin, and then we are going to decorate, garden, cook, travel, all the things we've been doing the past couple years here on New England Fine Living. We're going to just move it along to New Hampshire, and we're going to keep doing things together. But for now, I want to thank you again for joining us here on New England Fine Living, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.